everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Darian and welcome to another weekly vlog. So it is now the third week of the tarot readathon. As always, I will leave the hosts Noelle and Daijah linked down below, but I am definitely behind on my vlogs. I still haven't even edited the first one. I really told myself that I was gonna come home from work today and edit the first week's vlog. I'm not doing that. I'm tired. But maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Anyways, I have been participating in the tarot readathon the past few weeks. So essentially you pick a tarot card. Each different tarot card corresponds to a different prompt. So that's what I've been doing. So if you saw last week's vlog, at the end of last week's vlog, I mentioned that I started the book Sky Daddy by Kate Folk. That was for the prompt. I don't remember. I think it was like the 8 of Swords maybe, but that was for the prompt to read a book from a genre you don't pick up often. And I don't really know what genre to classify this book as, but I figured it's part of the like weird girl fiction, and I don't read a lot of like weird girl books, I guess. So whatever, I counted it. And if you don't know, that book is about this woman named Linda who is very attracted to airplanes, and she's convinced that one day she's going to be on a plane and the plane will realize that they are soulmates, and it'll crash and they will then be together forever because the plane won't want anyone else flying in him, only Linda. And yeah. So the premise of the book is quite ridiculous, but honestly, so I ended up finishing this book yesterday, but I didn't start the vlog yesterday because it was so hot. I had to go to the bookstore for work yesterday and it was just so hot, so I had absolutely no energy to vlog, but I did listen to the rest of the book yesterday, so I need to give you my thoughts. And those thoughts are, I really loved this book. I already knew I liked Kate Folk's writing because I read her short story collection Out There last year and I really enjoyed it. I was very interested to see what she would do with this story, and I don't even know how to explain, like, I don't know, because it is what it sounds like. It is a book about a woman who is attracted to planes. So it gets a little weird, it gets a little uncomfortable sometimes, but it also is a story just about like humanity and friendship. Like, I feel like friendship is a huge theme in this book, and there were parts where I felt myself like tearing up because I was like, wow, this is this is kind of beautiful. Like, I don't know. It also, especially the first half of this book, I found really funny. The writing was just, oh my god, it was making me laugh. I was listening to it on the bus and I could not stop smiling. It was just like, I feel like I read it at the perfect time because I feel like I've been reading a lot of like heavy literary fiction lately, and this is exactly what I needed. Also, sorry about this lighting. I think a thunderstorm is about to happen, so it's getting a little darker, so sorry about that. But yeah, I think this is exactly what I needed to read. Something to make me laugh, something that was just like a little bit ridiculous, but I just had so much fun. And I like, you can't help but find Linda endearing. Like, obviously on paper you're like, what? She's attracted to airplanes, but like, I promise you will love her. Like, I was cheering her on. I wanted the best for her. I wanted her to fulfill her dreams, and I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain it, but I just really enjoyed this book. It made me really happy, and I kind of want a physical copy to read it again. I don't know what that says about me, but I mean, I shouldn't be surprised because every time I do read a weird book, I end up liking it. So that was Sky Daddy. I gave it a 4.5. There was a while where I thought it might be a 5 and then I was like, okay, I think it's more like a 4.5, but obviously still a very good rating. And I think, okay, so here's like, I don't know who to recommend this to. I think if you're intrigued by the synopsis, like, I cannot stress enough, like, you need to go into this knowing it's not like her love for planes is a metaphor for something. Like, she's attracted to airplanes. And I think you just need to accept that and go along for the ride. This book knows exactly what it is, and I think it trusts that the reader like accepts it. Because I was looking at some reviews and people were like, it was really disturbing and I found it really weird how she was attracted to planes, and I'm like, well, that's what the book is about. Like, if you find that too weird, then don't read this book. But if you're intrigued like I was, then I would definitely recommend picking this book up because I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was really funny. I don't know. The storm is coming. Okay, so that was that book. And then again, if you watched the last, when did I even start this book? I don't know, but the past few vlogs, I think I've been reading Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This was for the prompt. This was the Chosen One prompt, the book with the Chosen One trope, which I pulled in the first week, and I'm still reading this book. And I'm not even, can you even see that? I'm not even that far. I'm on page 172 and there's about 400 pages. I don't know why this is taking me so long. It's just one of those books where when I'm not reading it, I don't really feel like picking it up, but then when I am reading it, I'm like really into it. So I don't know. This is also kind of hard to explain, but essentially you're following this girl named DM who is a mortal, and in this world they're kind of separated between the mortals and the, what are they called? The Descended. And so the Descended are like stronger, they have magical abilities, they are immortal, I would assume. And essentially they are like the royalty, they look down on the mortals. DM is immortal, but there's always been something a little something about her. I have a feeling she's like maybe part Descended or something, because she keeps talking about how her eyes are the same color as the Descended's eyes, because I think their eyes are blue and the mortal's eyes are brown or something. And she keeps giving the excuse that she had an illness when she was younger and it changed her eye color. The book is insinuating there's more to it than that, so I have a feeling there's something going on with her. And also at the beginning of the book, her mother disappears and she hasn't heard from her in 6 months, and we know she has something to do with the Descendeds, but we don't know what. So it's just, we're still kind of like, it feels like we're still in the beginning, kind of just setting up this world, figuring out what's going on. I'm pretty sure the romance will be between DM and the prince of the Descendeds, which should be interesting. But yeah, so far it still feels like we're just like in the beginning. I mean, this is I think there's 4 books out and there might be another one coming. I don't know, but I am enjoying it, but like I never really feel like picking it up. So maybe I'm just not reading it at the right time. I don't know, but hopefully I can finish this soon because I really want to just move on and read something else. But I also don't want to DNF it because I am intrigued enough to know what's going on, you know? So that's this. And then since I did finish Sky Daddy yesterday, I need to pick another tarot card to get my next prompt for my audiobook, because I believe I'm taking the bus tomorrow, so I will need a new audiobook to listen to. So I have my tarot card generator. I'm gonna go this card, I don't know why I was drawn to it. The Page of Swords. Can you see that? Page of Swords. I don't think I'm giving any sort of proof, but it makes me feel better. Okay, Page of Swords. Page. Oh, read a book about books. Book about books. Do I have anything on Libby right now that would work for that? A book about books. I don't have anything out right now. Let me also look in my Libro library. Okay, I have one idea because I got the ALC from Libro for the second book in this series, and I'm quite sure it's about books, but I'm trying to remember what the first book in the series is. I'm gonna decide officially after, but the book I'm thinking of is The Next Best Fling by Gabrielle, what was the author's name? Gabriela Gamez. And I did get the art for the second book in this series. I mean, it's a romance series, so they are companion books, but I still like to read them in order because I am who I am. But the second book, I know this is called like the Librarians in Love series or something like that, and the second book has ace rep, and I am an ace librarian, so I really want to read the second book. So maybe I'll pick up the first one, which is also about librarians. Okay, I have stuff to think about. So I'm gonna go think about that, but I'm kind of leaning towards that. I think a romance could be fun right now, especially because I'm reading like, well, this is a romantasy, but it's still fantasy and I'm still learning about a whole new world. So that might be the move. I'll figure it out. Anyways, so there we go. So yeah, I'm just gonna relax for the rest of the night. It's still fairly early. It's like 7:30. I do work tomorrow, but I start a bit later, which is nice. But hopefully I can get some reading done tonight, and then I'll check in when I have updates. is Sunday. I never know anymore. It's Sunday, and first of all, I always want to touch on this and then I forget, but if you've noticed I wear this shirt like all the time, it's because this is like my comfort shirt. I wear it as my pajama most of the time. And often when I update my vlog, it's like after I've like had dinner, took a shower, like settled in for the night. So that's why I'm always wearing this. In case you're wondering like if I wear anything else, I do not wear this when I go out of the house. This is like my comfort shirt to wear at home, but I just so happen to film all my vlog clips when I'm wearing it. So sorry if that bothers you, but anyways, hello. Like I said, it's Sunday. I figured I owed you an update. Today is my Saturday and I really needed this weekend. I felt so burnt out this week, and yesterday was just one of those days at work. It was one of those days where, oh my god, patrons were being so annoying. And like people, coworkers too, were also being annoying. Like everyone was just being annoying yesterday. And like, is it because I'm supposed to start my period soon? Probably. But I just did not have time. I did not have the patience for anything yesterday. Also, I don't know why, but my computer for the longest time like stopped giving Discord notifications, and now they've started again, which is why you keep hearing them. And I tried turning them off and it won't turn off. So I don't know what that's all about. But anyways, sorry, I'm a little frazzled. But today's Sunday, like I've said like 8 times. And today was actually a good day because I got my nails done. So I got them like this blue. Do you see? I'm very happy with them. Like, look, I find them so pretty. Oh my god, I'm really happy with them. So I got that done this morning, and then I went for brunch with my mom, which is very nice. And then I edited finally the first tarot readathon vlog, and this is, what am I filming right now? The 3rd? I think this is the 3rd week. So I'm a little bit behind on that, but it's okay. But yes, so that's been my day. And now let's talk about reading updates. So the other day I got the prompt. What was the prompt I got? The prompt I got was, oh, to read a book about books. So I did end up starting The Next Best Fling by Gabriela Gamez. That is the first book in the Librarians in Love series. So honestly, I'm much more interested in the second book in that series, but even companion series, I need to read them in order. It's just who I am. So this book follows Marcella, who is a librarian. She is 27 years old and she's plus sized. And in her like dating profile, she used a quote from Ember in the Ashes. I was like, is this play about us? So, except let me just say, I mean, obviously if you're gonna have a book about a librarian, like I'm gonna nitpick it a little bit, but she was talking about how like she's always taking the new releases from the library, but she doesn't take them out. Like she just smuggles them home. And I'm like, there is no way no one would notice that you're doing that. Like if I just took a bunch of new releases from the library and didn't check them out and just took them home, everyone would be like, where the frick are all these books? Like, there's no way, at least in my library, there's no way that that would happen. So I was like, that's not realistic, but whatever. Anyways, so it's about this girl, Marcella, who has been in love with her best friend. What's his name? I want to say Ben. I think it's Ben. I'm pretty sure it starts with a B, but she's been in love with him since they went to college together, or was it high school? I don't know, but a long time. Apparently, like, soon after they met, they dated for a little bit, and then he, like, kind of broke it off, and then they've just been friends ever since, but she has had this crush on him ever since then. And then he started seeing this girl named Alice, and they've been together now for like 8 years, and at the beginning of the book, he decides he's going to propose to Alice, and they get engaged, and Marcella's like, okay, I need to like finally get over this man. Like he's engaged now, there's no chance for me, whatever. And so since they're engaged, now there's all this like family stuff, and she's close with the family because they're good friends. And so his brother, who played football in the NFL, comes to town, and like the two brothers had a bit of a falling out a few years ago, I don't remember, and Marcella doesn't really know what happened, but she meets the brother, well, she doesn't meet him for the first time, but we meet, I think his name's Theo, the brother, the football player. And Marcella finds out that he has had a crush on Alice, the girl that is engaged to Marcella's friend. He has had a crush on her for a long time. And so Marcella's like, well, I understand what he's going through, so I'm gonna help him out. She actually like prevents him from confessing his feelings to her at like their engagement party. So then they kind of like become close, but because of that, like, he was very drunk, so he almost confessed his feelings, and she stopped him, so she's like, let me just bring you home so you could sleep this off. And so everyone thought that they slept together, so now they're kind of wondering like, maybe this wouldn't be such a bad thing if we like started this fling, like no strings attached relationship. Like, he doesn't know that she's in love with his brother, but she kind of says like, oh, I'm kind of in the same boat about someone else. So they're like, maybe we can like help each other out because we're clearly kind of attracted to each other. Maybe we can help each other get over the people we're trying to get over. And of course, I think his name's Ben, but her friend who's getting married, he doesn't like this, which is like so freaking annoying. And oh my god. So of course, like, now he sees her getting close with his brother, and he's like, I'm just worried about you. Like, I'm just worried about your safety. Like, I just don't want you to get hurt, you know? So clearly he knows that she's loved him all this time, and he just wants her to stay loving him, even though he doesn't reciprocate, you know? Men. So anyways. Also, like, none of this is spoilers. I am like 21% into the book. Like, this is still kind of the synopsis. How far am I? I'm 32%, so a little bit further, but still, this is still the premise. Like, they haven't even gotten together yet, the two main characters, and the whole premise of the book is them like having this fling, and then they're gonna have feelings for each other, whatever. Anyways, so all that to say is I am enjoying this. It's definitely not gonna be like a new favorite book or anything for me, but I am enjoying it. I am intrigued to see what happens. I mean, I think we know what's gonna happen, but what I'm most interested in is that Marcella's other friend, Angela, who I'm quite sure is the main character in the second book, and I had heard that the second book had ace rep, and it's like very clear they're setting up her being asexual because they were talking about like how she's never like had any hookups with anyone, but she still like is interested in dating, but she doesn't care about it that as much as Marcella. And then there's a point where she's reading Loveless by Alice Oseman, and I'm like, I see you. So anyways, has my head been cut off this whole time? That would be fun. But yeah, so that's what's going on in that book. So I am enjoying it. It's, you know, it's like a book to pass the time, kind of. Like, probably gonna end up being like a 3.5 star, something like that. But I'm definitely more excited to get to the second book for the ace rep. But yes, so I've been reading that, and I've finally made some progress. I feel like I've finally made some decent progress into this book. I'm now on page 236. I mean, still like would love it if I was finished it by now, but I don't know why I'm reading this so slowly. And again, this is another book that will probably end up being like a 3.5, I think. And I think I already explained what this was about. Honestly, this whole book has felt like setup to me. I feel like this whole book is just setting up the series. I am more than halfway through the book now, and it still feels like I don't know everything I should know at this point. You know what I mean? So I am enjoying it. But I mean, definitely enjoying it more than Zodiac Academy, but like not obsessed with it or anything. But I am definitely intrigued. Like, I think I will continue the series and see where it goes, because I feel like with each book it'll get more interesting. I don't know, we'll see. I think each book also gets longer, so that's a little scary, but finally made progress in this. So those are my reading updates. It's been a few days since I updated, but I've just been like working and just felt so like, you know. I've been really bad again about scrolling too much and spending too much time on my phone and like obsessing over the latest drama and all that. Like, I need to just stop. I need to stop and I need to read more and do my hobbies, watch some booktube, play my silly little games, read my silly little books, you know, all of that. So anyways, there's my update. Oh, also I changed my phone case. Look how cute she is. I love her. Also, let's look at the nails again. Because I just love this color so much. Wow. Okay, anyways, it is a bit after 7. I have tomorrow off too, which is great. And I finished editing that video. I just need to make the thumbnail tomorrow. So that leaves me with mostly a free day tomorrow, which I am very happy about. So yeah, hopefully I can get some of this read tonight and, like, dare I say, finish it tomorrow. How many pages do I have left? There's about 400, a bit under 400, so like 150 pages maybe, because I would love to start something new. I don't know, we'll see. There's the update. I'm gonna go relax now. Yeah. Okay, bye. Period. Hi guys, so let's chat. I think the last time I updated this vlog was Sunday and it is now Friday. So it's been quite a week. I honestly have not had the best mental health week this week. I did get my period, so that definitely affected things, but I've just been in like not a super great headspace this week. And then I had therapy Wednesday night and we were digging deep. And so that was like very emotionally draining. And so yesterday at work, I was so like, oh my God, I was just like not in the right space to be working basically. So today I decided to call off because I felt like I just really needed a day to just decompress, kind of recover from this week, because I don't know, it's just been not a great mental health week. I've been a little depressy, and you know, I'm trying to be gentle with myself because I tell other people that, you know, resting is productive and you can't just let yourself burn out. Resting is healthy. So I'm trying to tell that to myself right now because in my mind that applies to everyone but myself. So anyways, I called off today, took a bit of a mental health day. And I definitely think it was the right decision because I do have work tomorrow and I'm not like absolutely dreading it, which I was about work today, yesterday. So I feel like that's a sign that I made the right decision. But anyways, it's Friday. I have some updates. First of all, I saw Superman last night and it was a very silly, goofy time. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. Definitely like, what's his name? David Corn Sweat, I think is his name. Also didn't realize he was in Twisters also. Very exciting to learn that because I loved Twisters. That was also a silly, goofy movie. But anyways, I had a fun time. We saw it at like midnight. It was 7:50, but it felt like midnight. But yeah, I thought it was funny. I liked the messaging. Was it woke? I guess. If woke means like being a good person, then I guess it was woke. But yeah, I really liked it. I liked Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. I'm like, honestly don't know much about the Superman lore and the comics and all that, so I don't know, but I love the dog. It was also like the dog and the baby were in a little too much peril for my liking. That made me a little uncomfortable, but Anyways, yeah, I had a fun time. So there's that update. I did also end up finishing Spark of the Everflame. I'm pretty sure I finished it, no, it wasn't Sunday. I think it was Monday night. I finished it Monday night. And the ending I really liked. I got really into it. Like, I don't know what book this reminds me of, but this reminds me of another first book in a series. But which book is the question? I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but I like that we saw more of Luther near the end of the book. And like, I think I'm gonna really like him as a character. Henry was like, he made some good points. I will say he was saying some things at the end and I was like, listen, you're making some good points, but you're just being really annoying about it. So he drove me crazy. But Luther, I really like, and I liked the whole like stuff that happened at the end that I won't spoil, but even though, so I did give the book 3 stars, and normally I wouldn't probably continue a series after that, but like I can see this whole first book felt like set up to me, and I feel like I can see where the series is going, and now I'm more interested in it. So I do want to pick up the second book in the series, which I believe is Glow of the Everflame. But yes, I think this is a series I could end up enjoying that could like get better with each book. And I want to see more of Luther. I'm gonna be so honest with you. Like when we got to a certain point in the book with Luther, I was like, this is what we've been waiting for. So I really liked that, the ending of that. But yeah, it still was a 3-star. And then I am almost done. What is this book called? I always forget. The Next Best Fling. I'm almost done that. I think I have about an hour left to listen to, so I'm gonna actually finish that in a second. But oh my god, reading this at the same time as Spark of the Everflame, like Spark had Henry, this book has Ben, who is, if we remember, oh, also, side note, I did decide to make the last 2 weeks of the Tarot Readathon one vlog because I feel like I didn't really talk much in the first week and I feel like it just made more sense. So if this vlog is longer, I'm sorry, or I'm not sorry, I don't know. I personally like long vlogs, but I don't know how everyone else feels. Anyways, if we remember, I was talking about the main girl, the guy she's been in love with for like 10 years, his name is Ben. He is infuriating. Oh my god, I hate him. Basically he's the type of guy who like doesn't return her feelings, but still wants her all to himself, you know? So drives me crazy. I really hope he gets humbled by the end of the book. I hope everybody drops him, leaves him behind. Like, I hate men like that. And they're out there. They're out there. I know they are. Oh my god, yeah. But the romance between her and his brother, it's feeling very like, we're definitely, since we're near the end of the book, we've kind of gotten into like the conflict portion. But I do like how they're communicating through it, and there is like a touch of miscommunication, but it also feels a lot more realistic than just like, I'm not gonna tell him because blah blah blah, and he's like, well, I'm not gonna tell her because blah 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 blah. Like, it feels more realistic, and like there's a lot more communication than I feel like there is in some other romance books. Overall, I do think this will also maybe end up being a 3, maybe 3.5. I don't know, like there's nothing really super special about this book to me. I mean, yes, it's about a librarian and I love that. Her best friend like officially came out as Ace, which I love. I am mostly excited to read the second book because of the Ace rep, and also the friend is like currently studying to be a librarian, so I think in the second book she will be a librarian. So an Ace librarian, like I'm so excited. And I did pick my next tarot card. I didn't film it, but I took a picture. I don't know if that proves that this is the prompt I got, but the fact that I don't like this prompt, I feel like should be proof enough. So I can't remember the name of the card, but it was like him for D. It was him for something like that. I don't remember, I'm so sorry. But the prompt was to read either a poetry book or a book written in verse. I don't read a lot of poetry or books written in verse. And there was one book, like I saw this prompt, and there was one book I owned that I was so sure was in verse. So I was like, oh, I guess I'll read this. And it wasn't. I was so sure. But I did find a book that I owned that was written in verse, and it's a book I've owned for quite a while now, but that is Bloodwater Paint by Joy McCullough. And this is like a fictionalized story about the painter Artemisia Gentileschi, who was a painter in the 1600s in Italy. And she was not a very well-known painter, especially while she was alive, because she was a woman. But I remember learning about her in school and I was like so obsessed with her. I remember I wrote a paper about her. Like, I just fell in love with her and her paintings. If you've seen any of her paintings, like her most famous one, I always forget the name of it. It's like Judith something about Judith. Judith slaying Holofernes. Yeah, so I was gonna say Judith slaying Holofernes. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but I went to look at a picture and like this painting is so brutal. Like, I don't think I can put the picture up because it is quite a brutal painting. And there's another version of this painting, not of this painting, but of this scene that Caravaggio did. What is his painting called? Okay, yeah, so Caravaggio painted the same scene, but it's called Judith beheading Holofernes. This one is like definitely still brutal, but like very much like Judith is just kind of like hee hee, whereas Artemisia Gentileschi's is like a lot more violent and like actually looks like a woman beheading someone and not just being like hee. So anyways, I just remember finding that so fascinating when I was in school learning about her. So this is a book written in verse from her perspective, Artemisia Gentileschi, and how she started off painting, and like her father would take credit for her work. And then I know she goes through some horrible things. I mean, this book is about 300 pages, but since it is written in verse, it reads pretty quickly. I thought I could read this in one sitting, but then the depression happened this week. So I am on page 112, but I think I might also be able to finish this today. Maybe. So my plan for now is to listen to the rest of Next Best Fling and play some Disney Dreamlight Valley, and then maybe finish this so I can finish 2 books today. I think that would make me feel really good about myself to get 2 books done, especially because I haven't talked much about Her Kid in these vlogs, but I did mention it in the first vlog. But Her Kid, if you don't know, the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do is a reading challenge that's hard and you do it. It started in July, which we're still in. And I've been obsessed with like completing the prompts and filling out the spreadsheet for this reading challenge because it's just so satisfying. So if I finish 2 books today, think of all the spreadsheets I can fill out. Because I have like my caught pile spreadsheet, my reading tracker spreadsheet, and my Her Kid spreadsheet. I love a good spreadsheet. Anyways, so I am definitely feeling better. I think calling off work was the right decision. And I still have a lot of the day left. It's only 2 o'clock. So I'm just gonna play my little game, read my little books. I guess we'll have to pull more cards later. So we'll see how that goes. Later, look at me updating twice in one day, but I figured I should let you know that I did end up finishing those 2 books. So I'm gonna quickly wrap them up. I feel like I don't have really many new things to say about these books more than what I already said. Why am I out of breath? So I finished listening to The Next Best Fling by Gabriela Gamez, and I ended up I enjoyed it. I gave it a 3.5. I'm pretty sure this is her debut novel, and I'm excited to read more from her because I feel like I already like her writing. It just doesn't feel like anything special yet, but I have a feeling I'm gonna really, well, obviously I have this feeling, but I think I'm gonna really like the second book. I think it's called Kiss Me Maybe. I think that's the second book, but that's the one about the Ace character, and I'm just so excited to read that. And also the character that I hated, he did get humbled, so very happy about that. So I did give that 3.5 stars, and that was for the, I think it was Page of Swords, the prompt to read a book about books, because she's a librarian. And then I did also finish Blood, what is it? Blood, Water, Paint by Joy McCullough. I read the rest of this today. It didn't take too long since it is written in verse. This was a really interesting book, and I'm glad I finally read it. It's been on my radar, I think, since like 2020, and then I bought it in like 2022, so it's been sitting on my shelves for 3 years, and I honestly don't know when I would have picked it up if I didn't get the read a book in verse prompt. So I'm really happy I finally read this. I will say sometimes I felt like the writing went over my head a bit, and I was like, I don't know what you're trying to say, but I often feel like that with poetry, so I feel like that makes sense. But I do want to say, huge trigger warning in this book for rape. It is heavily discussed and kind of described, so also like the trial afterwards is, I feel like, could be very triggering. So just keep that in mind. And also just the fact that this is the 1600s, so you can imagine how people feel towards a woman who has claimed that she's been raped. I mean, is it that different from today? I don't know. But I did really like learning about this woman, and this, obviously this is a fiction book, but I still liked learning about this painter that I've been interested in since I was in college. And it did talk about those famous paintings of Judith. And so I thought that was really interesting. And I was kind of happy to be back into like my arts moment. I feel like I haven't felt like an art student in a long time, so it was kind of nice to be back into that mindset. And also like just as a just as a like sentimental note, the teacher I had in college who made me really love this painter, he passed away actually like a year after he taught me in a car accident, and it was so sad. He is my favorite teacher that I've ever had, and like I just loved him so much. And so reading this just kind of reminded me of him and like being in his class. Sorry to get a little sad, but it was just nice to like just reminisce about his class and his teaching. And honestly, like, I think about him a lot and I miss him a lot. Not that he was like a close personal friend, but it was a huge loss because he loved being a teacher so much and he loved what he taught. So anyways, just a little tribute to him. But it did feel nice to feel kind of connected to him again. Anyways, I gave this, I didn't mean to talk about that, but it kind of just felt natural, I don't know. But I did end up giving this 3.75 stars. Just because like the format of reading in verse is not my favorite. I can appreciate it for what it is, but I prefer a novel written in prose. I do understand why it was written in verse, just like not my preferred writing style, but whatever. I still enjoyed this, and I'm happy I finally got it off my TBR because, like I said, I don't know when I would have read this. So now I just wanted to quickly get new prompts. Today is the 25th, which means there's 6 days because January has 31 days, right? I believe so. So I don't know if I'll actually finish another book before the month ends, but I figured we could get 2 more prompts so I at least can start 2 more books, another physical and another audio, and we'll see. So I'm just gonna go ahead, pick a prompt. I'll pick them at the same time and then we can decide which one will be physical, which one will be audio. So I picked one. I got 2 of Swords. I don't know why I keep showing. I don't think you could see anything, but whatever. So let's see what that is. 2 of Swords. Read a book featuring multiple POVs. Okay, and let's pick another one. I'm gonna go with this one. The Hanged Man. Can you see that? That doesn't sound good. The Hanged Man. Hanged Man. Read a book. Oh, read a book that has mixed media elements. Interesting. Oh wait, that could work. There's one book that I have out from the library that I really want to read right now. I don't know if it has mixed media elements, and I don't know if it has multiple POVs. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about this. I don't know if I'll start a new book tonight. It's already 9 o'clock, which means it's almost my bedtime. But I'm gonna go have a think, so I'll probably update maybe tomorrow, maybe Sunday, I don't know, at some point, whenever I've decided what to read next. So it is Wednesday. It's been a few days since I've updated. I don't even remember the last time I updated. I was sitting over there before, but you may be able to see my spot has been stolen. So now I'm sitting over here. That's just how it is. So I owe you guys a reading update. So the last clip I pulled some tarot cards. I pulled 2, thinking that one would be my physical read and one would be my audiobook, but then I realized there's no way I'm gonna finish 2 books before the end of the month. So I decided to just focus on one of the prompts. So the prompt that I'm using this book for, which you'll see in a second, is the multiple POV prompt. And for that I am using When the Moon Hits Your Eye by John Scalzi. I know he's written a lot of books. He wrote Starter Villain, which is the one with like the cat in a suit on the cover, you know? But I saw this at work and it just really intrigued me. This is about if one day the moon just randomly turned to cheese, you know, as it does, and basically just like how the world would react to it. So each chapter follows a different character. You have people who work at NASA, you have astronauts, you have people like museum curators who work at the Space Museum, you have just like random people, you have a billionaire. As you can imagine how he would react. But yeah, so each chapter is just like following a different character. Some chapters, like you see characters from other chapters, they kind of overlap a little bit. So it is very interesting, definitely a very unique book. I've never read anything like this before. I will say, like, I don't know how to talk about this book because I am enjoying it. This is definitely not gonna be like a 5-star or anything, but I'm enjoying reading it. I'm happy I'm reading it. When I pick it up, I'm happy to be reading it. There's definitely some funny moments, as you can probably imagine. My favorite chapter so far has been the one that follows these 2, like, I think they're teenagers or just like in their early 20s, and they work at like rival cheese shops. I loved that chapter. I thought it was so sweet. So I kind of want like a whole book following those 2 characters. I hope we see them again before the end of the book. But yeah, I am like pretty much exactly halfway. I'm on page where is the page number? 172, and I'm enjoying it. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna rate this because I think it's good for what it is, but it's not like, if you asked me a few months from now what I thought about this book, I'd be like, oh yeah, I liked that book Where the Moon Turns to Cheese, but like, I'm not gonna, none of the characters like mean anything really to me. So I think it's good for what it is. It's not really gonna stick with me, I don't think. So I don't know what I'm gonna end up rating it, but probably gonna end up being like a 3.75 maybe, because it's definitely not bad. It's not a bad book. It's just not like changing my life in any way, you know? I am reading this. I also started, but I'm not gonna finish it before the month ends, but I did start Wild Dark Shore yesterday by Charlotte McConaughey, and I'm only about a quarter of the way through that so far. I don't really have many thoughts. I kind of don't really understand what's going on, but anyways, I thought about using that for the multiple POV prompt, but then I was like, I'm not gonna finish this before the month ends, so I'm using this, and then that's just not gonna count for the tarot readathon. But yeah, so those are my reading updates. I just had my emotional support poke bowl for supper. I love, I always get the same one, my tuna poke bowl with popcorn shrimp. I always get it when I'm feeling kind of stressed or I just need like comfort food. That's like my comfort food right now. So yeah, so I just had that, and I'm gonna just watch booktube the rest of the night and hopefully get into this more, because today's the 30th, which means tomorrow's the last day of July, and I would definitely like to finish this before the end of July so that I can count it for the tarot readathon and then kind of start August off fresh. I do have some video ideas in August that I would like to at least start. So I don't know what August is gonna look like content wise, but I wanna, like, I've had some ideas and I'm like, why don't I just try them? Like, why don't I just try them instead of being like, is anyone gonna watch it? Because people don't watch my videos anyways, so I feel like that gives me the freedom to try new things. I don't know. Anyways, this is my update. Life has just been lifing lately, honestly. Work has been stressful. Life is kind of stressful. Everything's stressful. I hate the summer. Have I ever mentioned I hate the summer? Because I hate it. I am so tired of the heat. It is making me miserable. Yesterday I took the bus to work, and by the time I got to work, like, my work is very cool. It is air conditioned, but like the damage was already done. I was so exhausted the whole day yesterday because the heat just like sapped out all my energy. I mean, in my head, fall, as we all know, fall starts August 1st. So in my head, it's almost fall, and I'm just very excited for the weather to just get cooler. I'm so excited. Anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna play some Disney Dreamlight Valley because I have been playing that a lot lately, and read my book, and then I will probably give my final update on August 1st when everything is said and done and we can wrap up this vlog.